Alrighty, we are back after a not so great weekend. Although I have to say, a little takeaway from last weekend. I was saying Nurzulton Rosabelov was going to run through Cedricus Dumas. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crazy eye pokes this last card, and Nurzulton was going to beat him up, dude. I just saw he was going to finish him either way. Unfortunately, it was like an extended knuckle into his eye. Whatever. I had quite a few good reads, but I didn't win anything. And we're moving straight into this card, and they're making us earn UFC 300 because this card is not good at all. But we're going to switch it up a little bit, keep everyone interested on this not so interesting card. We're going to start off with the main event. How do you feel about that, Dylan?
Good. It is time to tussle, folks. Let's get into it. Thanks for sharing your Thursday night with us.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and if they're actually joining in on this card, it is what it is because UFC 300, dude, next weekend, I cannot wait. We're going to have a hell of a show, break these fights down. But we'll jump into it right away. We got Brendan Allen.
Hold on. Can I pause you for a minute?
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
talk about one fight on the prelims?
Yep,
And
go for it.
that's the first one with the what's his name? He just beat the Dylan Budka and Cesar Almeida. That Dylan Budka,
Yeah.
we saw him fight on that LFA card, and then Cesar Almeida, he actually beat Alex Pereira way back in the day. I mean, it was about 10 years ago when they were both just starting out, but this Cesar Almeida has gone like 25 minutes in a kickboxing ring with Alex Pereira. He lost 2 out of the 3, but just you got to give that guy some credit. So I just had to point that out there.
I did not know that. Like, literally did not know that at all.
It's insane.
Damn, dude.
I mean, I'm
me on.
probably not going to bet money on it, but I know that me and you both seen that Dylan fight at Prior Lake at the casino. But yeah, Almeida. I mean, just keep your eyes on Almeida, folks. So if you're gonna watch the prelims, that would be the one fight I would say to watch. But other than that, I don't know too much about the prelim card.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't even recognize that. The fact that you pointed that out is pretty badass. Yeah, I do remember this Budka guy fighting when we were watching Tom fight, obviously. Well, that'll be interesting to get to. That's good to know. I did not know that at all. That's cool. So,
It's the only fight I'm looking forward to in the prelims.
yeah, it's pretty rough, dude. It gets pretty dicey pretty quick. I agree. So, we'll start off spicy with the main event. I do like this fight. I might be like the biggest fan of Brendan Allen. Not a lot of people, for some reason, not a lot of hype behind him. Dude, he's just an all-around solid mixed martial artist. Like, literally anywhere the fight goes, he's a great fighter. So, there is one thing on this fight, though. They already fought years and years ago. And to be exact, see how long they fought. They fought in 2021 of December. So, it's been some years. Personally, I do think Brendan Allen's going to win this fight. I've always been so high on him, and he was finally getting his very noticeable fight, his opponent, which was Marvin Vettori. I thought he was going to not run through Marvin Vettori, but I did think he was going to beat him. And now,
there seems something in common here.
the hell is that? And now, Brendan Allen is getting his short notice replacement in Chris Curtis. And Chris has already beat him, but I honestly do think, dude, you have to take a subjective look at this fight, take a step back and just go, all right, has Brendan Allen improved much more than their last fight? Absolutely.
Yeah.
The guy's on we can even count it. It's a crazy fight win streak. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's on a 7-fight win streak after Chris Curtis.
Right.
And I thought he was going to beat Marvin Vettori. So what it comes down for me, though, is Brendan Allen. I think he's gotten a lot more technical than he did all those years ago when Chris Curtis got him. Chris Curtis has great takedown defense. It's going to be a scrap, dude, and I'm glad it's 5 rounds. But if Brendan Allen just runs through Chris Curtis, they better give him like a top 5 middleweight, just like they were planning on to do with Marvin Vettori, because he earns it. He's been doing this for a while, and I think he could be honestly a middleweight champion someday. Like I'm saying it now, the kid's 28 years old, dude. I think Brendan Allen's very good. I'm picking Brendan Allen, and I'm not betting a lot on this card at all, especially after last week. Not going to bet a lot on this card, but I am going to be having Brendan Allen in like a little small parlay. So, how about you?
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm not super sold on it yet. I feel like it's kind of a pick 'em at this point. I mean, Allen's definitely deserved the credit where he's at right now. I could see him winning this one by submission, but Curtis, you never know about Curtis. Like he can catch at any moment. Like he's a vet. He's been in the game for a long time, and no discredit to Allen either. I mean, he's on, like you said, he's on a win streak for sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably not gonna bet on it either. Like you just said, like last week was really demoralizing. This week, now I look forward to it. I might just save all my gumption for 300. But if I just had to pick one, I think I'm gonna go with Curtis. But no,
Respect it.
yeah,
And I sorry to cut in on your analysis, but I do have to say this. I forgot to say we have to remember that Chris Curtis is sparring and training with none other than Sean Strickland, the former middleweight champion. Like he's getting that work in. There's no doubt about that. So, I do forget about that, but I just think, excuse me, Brendan Allen has just gotten way better than the last time that they fought. I mean, he definitely has. If you have ever watched his fight recently, he's so technical. He knows when to stop striking. He doesn't really get in brawls anymore, and he'll just grab your legs or put you up against the fence, wear you down, take you down, and his top game is tremendous. Submission's great. So
yeah.
I like it.
That's the thing. Like you just said it there. Like Allen just kind of put himself in some precarious situations, like in the first, second round, and he's learned that over the years. Now he knows how to drag it up to the deep waters and win. Really technical, get a real technical win. Where I feel like the way Curtis is going to kind of get this W is if he does something quick in the first, 3 rounds. It's going to be a 5-round fight, so I feel like Allen could drag it up deep water, and it might be a little problematic.
Yeah. No, I like it. And the last thing I'll say about this fight, and then we can move on, is I think Chris Curtis is his nickname, the Action Man. Like he comes to fight, dude. He kind of reminds me of like a Justin Gaethje. Like he doesn't back down from any fight, and he's always there for the UFC. He's 36 too. I mean, there's another notable thing. He's 36 years old. He's going to be the shorter fighter. I think Brendan Allen is just. It's going to be a great fight. It's a solid main event, but I do think the UFC is just. They want people that bring in big numbers and everything. Brendan Allen, unfortunately, is not one of those guys, but he is that top 5 middleweight in the freaking world. Like, believe it or he's now under that hype and everything. He's a family man, whatever. He just doesn't bring in all the numbers, so the UFC doesn't want to push him into that middleweight contention to be a champion because he probably could be, in my opinion. They need to give him a couple more big names, and they were just doing that with Marvin Vettori. It would have been a Marvin Vettori, and then you saw Hamzat versus Whitaker in July. Whoever lost that fight, I think is going to fight. Whoever loses that fight gets Brendan Allen. I'm saying it right now. Whoever loses that fight in July, I think Brendan Allen wins this fight tomorrow. And he's going to wait, probably take no damage or relatively less small damage. I'm getting in over my head here, but I'm just going to say that. Brendan Allen deserves it. Get Marvin Vettori, and he gets Robert Whitaker or Hamzat, loser. Because if Hamzat does get ran through by Whitaker, the UFC is going to look at that like, all right, Hamzat got beat. Who can we give him? Oh, we can give him Brendan Allen, who's a great fighter, but he's not super, super popular. So if he loses that, it's not the end of the world,
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll move on to the next fight. I like it. We're head to head on it, so. I gotta take this call. Emily's calling me. You just get started on this, please, bro.
Oh boy, got the old Damon the Leech Jackson versus Alex the Great Ape Hernandez. Hernandez right now is the favorite, I think, on the site that we use. He's a minus 210. Jackson's a plus 170. I wonder if they got any bets out for Jackson winning by submission, because that could be pretty spicy. He's got a few submission wins under his belt right now. But I do not see this one going the distance. I do like Hernandez, but Depending on where the odds go, it would be interesting. Okay. Jackson by submission round 2 plus 1200. Maybe, folks. Stay tuned. We might throw it in there. Right now, Tapology's got Hernandez at a 73%. Jackson's at 27. So we'll see. You either take Hernandez by knockout or Jackson by submission, and it's not going the distance. Guaranteed. That's pretty much all I got. Let's see. Jackson lost his last fight to Bill Cortantino, which that was some months ago. Then he lost to Dan Ige, and his last win came against Pat Sabatini. Wow. Doesn't say much. Alexander won against Bill Eljo. No, he lost to Bill Eljo. Wow. Ooh, that was 5 months ago. Rough, dude. And then he beat Jim Miller. He also lost to Billy Quarantino, and that was a year and 3 months ago. Yeesh. For the sake of the show, probably have to take Hernandez, but might just sprinkle in a little Damian Jackson win by submission. Regardless, I think this would be a good fight to put on a parlay for a dozen that is like finished inside the distance. That's my best guess. Damian Jackson. What?
Yeah, good call, Clint. I muted my mic. Sorry.
Do you have
I
something
was
to
just
say?
I was just agreeing with you. I said I really like the Damon Jackson call for submission, and fight does not go the distance because both guys have cardio issues. Yeah, and
Yeah.
fight will not go the distance minus 220. Which I like
So you
that.
gotta
And
try to
then
pick something else. You got to pick like Hernandez, like by knockout, or Damien by submission. Just because I feel like you have better odds that way.
dude, I like this a lot. When will the fight end? You can just pick when the fight will end. Round 2 or round 3, you can get a plus 315, plus 525. Like,
Yeah,
you don't care who wins. You just want it to end in that round.
yeah.
That's awesome. I would sprinkle a round 2 and a round 3 just straight up. I might start doing that more on the app that we use because, excuse me, I really enjoy. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. Maybe it's just for this fight, but yeah. Sorry, you already gave your breakdown on this fight. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard you're taking Alexander Hernandez. I do not hate that. Here's my thing. I don't put a whole lot of stock in Damon Jackson. I don't think he's like the greatest featherweight. I mean, he's 35 years old. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Granted, it's to Dan Ige. Dude hits hard as hell. He did ground him out and pound him out. Pat Sabatini, super dangerous on the ground. He did beat Dan Argueta, who's also on this card. So he's got some notable wins, and Alexander Hernandez has been fighting like solid dudes for a while now. I don't put a lot of stock in that Alexander Hernandez really either. His cardio is an issue. Where does this fight at? Is it at 155? Let me back this back out. I don't even know where this fight is at. Is it at
145.
Okay, see, that's another thing. He's usually fights at 155. Now he's dropping down again at 145. Interesting. Okay, so I really am just going to enjoy this fight. I can't put too much stock in either of these guys. I think it should be a pick 'em. But I am going to just slide out Damon Jackson. I don't really have a lot of faith in it. I just don't have any stock into Alexander Hernandez's cardio, dude. It's an issue. So I ain't betting on this fight, but I'll take Jackson for the show. So double back to back. We're against each other. Nothing wrong with that. I like it. Moving
Makes
on to
for an
the
interesting night.
yeah, dude. It really does. Moving on to the third fight, and it just gets worse and worse from here. So hang in, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan Sherrier versus Stipe Marscal. And I did just go back and watch both of these guys' last fights. it was fun to watch. It really was. I think these guys are gonna absolutely come and just. Here's the thing, Chepe, the machine guns. We'll just call them by their nicknames. The machine gun. He comes to fight. Like he's just in your face, constantly jabbing you, hooks, big punches. He's powerful as hell. And the last pirate, Morgan. That's a weird nickname. He's very technical, and he's quick, and he's powerful. Um, this fight is really going to be interesting. Like both of these guys have to fight with their original styles. They can't like get lulled and brawled into their opponent's style. So Chepe wants to bring the violence. He wants to come forward and he wants to brawl. And Morgan wants to be technical and stick on the outside, kick your leg, kick your body, slow you down. If Morgan tries to adapt to Chepe and just brawl it out in the boxing range and get hit, I think he'll probably get knocked out and it'll be bad for him. And if Chepe wants to be technical and play Morgan's game, I think he's going to get picked apart, maybe TKO'd, or probably just go all 3 rounds and get his ass kicked. So, honestly, on this one, I do like it not to go the distance because of those reasons. Either I think one of these guys is going to fall into their opponent's fighting style, and it's not going to go good for them. So let's look at this little prop here. Fight to not go the distance, plus 135. I like that. That's giving me plus money. I'm probably going to be throwing a little something on that because plus 135 with the Brendan Allen, we can get plus money on a few other things that I see on this card. So I'll definitely be doing that. I think that's a sneaky one. Yeah, dude. How about you? Or let me make my last prediction though. It's really tough. Like I like the plus money on Chepe because he's just so aggressive, and if he can go all 3 rounds too. But I really like the technical aspect of Morgan. And this fight is lined very well. I think it's super close. It should be pick'em. Damn, dude. I'm gonna go Chepe, even though I don't love it because Morgan seems very technical. But I'm gonna go Chepe. How about you?
Is Chepe taking this on short notice? Wasn't Morgan supposed to fight somebody else?
I don't think so, bro. Here's the canceled fights. Brendan Allen, Marvin Vittori canceled. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Dang Wu Chu, Morgan Charrier. So yeah, wow. I didn't even know that. Good call.
I don't know either. I mean, Chepe's always in good shape. He's always willing to fight whenever he can, Yeah, this is a tough one. Like you said, to kind of a pick 'em. I really don't know which way to go with this one. It's going to be fun one to watch. I like that inside the distance. It's not going to go the full round. So I like that if you can take it plus money. Chepe did beat Trevor Peaks, and I think Peaks is on this card as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or Peak, I should just say, not Peaks. But I'm going to go Morgan. I don't know why. I'm just trying to trust my gut. I don't know if I'm going to really bet on it or not. A lot of these guys do. I mean, both these guys have a few wins by decision, though, so maybe it does go. They both try to gut it out and tough it out all the way to the end, but they both have something to prove, so they're gonna throw it all down in the cage.
Mm-hmm. I like it, dude. We're all 3 fights were opposite of each other at the end of the night. I like it so far. And this one,
This
I
next one, I feel like we're not gonna be.
What, you got Ignacio?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I do too. His opponent's tough. But yeah, I got Chepe, you got Morgan. I see why you're picking Morgan. Personally, I think he's the more technical fighter. But just hear me out. If they try to fight their opponent's fight style and they get lulled into Morgan, or Morgan's too technical and Chepe's trying to be technical, or Chepe comes in and just brawls with him, then Morgan brawls, he's probably getting knocked out. So
Yeah.
that's my true read on that. So it's cool. We're different fighters. So we'll move on to the next one. We can make it quick. I got Ignacio Bahamondes, and so do you. But I'm not sleeping on his opponent. His opponent's a solid fighter. The last guy he just lost to, dude, was Daniel Zellhuber. Like, Daniel Zellhuber is a young stud. And then he lost to Thiago Moises, Armin Sarukian. That's his last 3 losses, dude. Like, that's That's impressive. Like Armin Sarukian 2 years ago, Thiago Moises 2 years ago, and Daniel Zellhuber 6 months ago. But he's knocking out Rick Glenn. So I mean, it's a fight, dude. Like Baja Mendez is so athletic though, and he's 6'3" at 155. He's 26 years old. I'm picking the younger guy for obvious reasons. So, and you are too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got that little bit longer reach too. And I mean, he lost to Klein, Ludwig Klein, which we just saw the other day, and that one went to decision. So I feel like he's just got a little more gut in him. But at those odds, I'm probably not going to touch it.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably not either, dude. Maybe Ignacio Baja Mendez inside the distance. Let's kind of check out. Let me see what that's at. That might be interesting. Ignacio inside the distance is a minus 125. So yeah, that's almost plus money. I think he finishes him, dude. That might be something I get into. All right,
He's
moving
got
on to
9 wins by KO. So yeah, I can see that happening. I like that.
yeah, and his opponent's tough too, though. So like you said, that chalky Ignacio at minus 325 is not my favorite. Probably won't be betting the money line. I'll do probably inside the distance.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next fight. I got a spicy take on this one. I'm taking the Bull. Bresicus, or however the hell you say his last name.
Really? You're taking a poll on it?
Yeah, I am.
That made me feel better now. Thank you.
Only because I've seen a few fights of Walter Walker, which is Johnny Walker's younger, bigger brother.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people didn't know that. And yeah, he's 6'6" and he's got 81.5-inch reach, but the guy's cardio is just terrible, dude. And I'm not sitting here and bashing any fighter. I'm just talking. These are UFC fighters, UFC trained. When you're in the UFC octagon, and they put on those types of performances, and for how much we love the UFC, we can sit here and be judgmental. Dude, he looked horrible. He looked so gassed. And the Bull, I'm just gonna call him his nickname. I don't even know how the hell to say his name. Lucas Brzeski. We'll say that. And look at his last few losses. Martin Boudet, which he's only lost once in the UFC to Shamil Gaziv. Great, he's a great fighter. He lost to Carl Williams, who just out wrestled Justin Tafa for 3 minutes straight. And the Bull got up quite a few times. Like, he doesn't just lay on his back, and then he pops back up. And then he got knocked out by Waldo Cortez Acosta. We know Waldo Cortez Acosta is like a solid heavyweight fighter, and that was in like the second or third round. So this Lucas, he doesn't just give up easy, dude. He's got a gas tank. He knows. I hope he knows what to watch out for on Walter Walker. But I think this guy's suspect, dude. Like I'm not. I would not put minus 350 on a suspect heavyweight
No.
that is making his UFC debut. He hasn't seen the skill. Like, dude, this Lucas guy has every opportunity in the book to just steamroll his UFC debut because of the guys that he's been fighting. I think the Bull is my favorite underdog on this card. I'm taking the Bull.
Damn. Okay.
And that is an unpopular opinion. I know it, but I'm taking the Bull, dude.
Okay. I like it. I didn't know too much about either one of these guys. I just knew the one was I knew the other one was fucking Johnny Walker's brother, but that was about it. Yeah. All right. I like your take on it. I think I might have to follow your lead. And if you do a little parlay, let me know. We can split some of that action.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to lose anyone money, but yeah, I don't know, dude. I just think like the Lucas, he doesn't do anything like phenomenal, but I think he does enough to keep this guy off him, and I think he'll gas him out. I mean, he's got 5 knockouts and 2 submissions. Like he does finish people.
Yeah.
Hasn't finished anybody in the UFC. He's all 3 losses. So if he loses tomorrow night, he's probably getting cut. But I think he's probably going to spoil this guy's UFC debut.
I like it.
All right, moving
the
on.
old debut fade.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like this Walter Walker, he didn't even touch UFC Contender Series because he's Johnny Walker's brother. He's 11-0 as a heavyweight. Dana always wants heavyweights, but you come into the UFC, this is another thing. Maybe Lucas isn't the guy that exposes his terrible gas tank in the heavyweight division, but someone will. If Walter Walker makes it through him and he fights another fight in the UFC division or UFC, if he fights again, probably putting all the money on his opponent because when you get a few wins in the UFC, you're facing tough guys, right? I mean, you're facing tough guys your first fight in the UFC. But after the first fight, if you win that, you're facing tough guys immediately. So,
Yeah.
I could see Walter Walker fighting someone like Marcin Tybura who just beat Tai Tuivasa or some crazy shit like that. And he just runs right through him. I don't know.
All right, so we're both taking the Pollock.
Yeah, I like it. Moving on to the next one, Trevor Peek versus Charlie Campbell. Well, I love both these guys. Like as long as their fighting style goes, super exciting. Honestly, they leave it all out there.
Yeah.
I am gonna pick Charlie Campbell though. He's a slight, moderate favorite at this point, and I'm gonna pick him for these reasons. I think Charlie Campbell is the much cleaner, technical, all-around mixed martial artist. Like Trevor Peek has solid takedown defense and obviously has crazy knockout power. I would think by now he knows what he needs to work on, and that's being more technical and not just throwing caution to the wind. And you don't care if you get hit. In his last fight, I had him against Yaya, and that fight was crazy. He made that fight like super, way closer than it should have. He really did, and it's a prime example. The fight 9 months before that, he fought Chepe.
Yep.
Chepe knocked him out, and it was. Oh no, he didn't. Excuse me. He went to decision, but he was very close from getting knocked out. So I think Charlie Campbell can aggravate him with leg kicks, body kicks, and straights down the middle, and honestly utilizes wrestling. I do see a submission. I might be throwing a little submission prop on Charlie Campbell, or just inside the distance to be safe. I think Charlie finishes him in 3 rounds. So
okay. I think if he's gonna get done, that's the way he's gonna get it done. He's gonna be by submission. I feel like both these guys are so tough that they'll just stay in the pocket there and hang in there and just keep bashing on each other until it goes to decision. But if Campbell gets him in a sneaky spot, and if Peak is just kind of falls into it, like yeah, it could definitely go to submission. I think Campbell's way, but I like Peak. I'm a big Peak fan. I'm gonna ride that train. I'm gonna stay with it. So I'm gonna stay with Peak. But I think this one actually goes to the cards.
all right. And I love watching Peak fight. I really do. He's very entertaining. I'm not rooting against him. I just think, for the show and the betting purposes go, I think Charlie Campbell is the more all-around UFC fighter or mixed martial artist. But
no, I
Trevor
love the
Peek,
Campbell too. I do think he's very talented. Like you said, I do think he's probably the more well-rounded fighter. I'm gonna go with Peak.
I like it. And Peek's got more UFC experience. This will be a hell of a fight. This might, honestly, Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis would probably be my number one fight on this card. And then after that, it's this one, Trevor Peek versus Charlie Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to the next one. Court McGee versus Alex Morono. And I'll make this one short and quick. I think Alex Morono beats him. Like, anywhere he wants, technically. I think Court McGee needs to retire. He's 39 years old. No disrespect. He's been doing it for a long time. His last 2 fights, he's been knocked out. And he got knocked out by Jeremiah Wells, who is a gas bag, and Matt Brown, who hits hard as hell, don't get me wrong. But he was also like 43 years old. I don't think Court McGee has anything left, and Alex Morono is probably training his ass off after he lost to Joaquin Buckley. But that's the type of guys that Alex has been fighting. Joaquin Buckley, Tim Means. I mean, nothing impressive, but he barely lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio. He got knocked out, TKO'd, whatever you want to call it, but he was competitive. So I got Alex Morono.
I agree with you. I mean, it's a great way to end the prelim card. A couple guys fighting out of the Fortis MMA gym. So, I mean, that's been a pretty popular gym recently. They got a lot of talent going on in there. So, I'm also going to take Moreno as well. And he's a pretty big odds favorite. I mean, the site that we use, he's minus 310 right now. So, I mean, not the biggest on the card as of now, but it's up there.
Yeah, dude. Minus 310 is really big. So probably, I don't know. I do believe he just wins this fight. So laying chalk on him is reasonable. If I'm throwing
Yep.
him in a parlay, I think it's going to be a lock. So
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Moving on to the next one. We agree on one. That's awesome. Norma Dumont versus 39-year-old Jermaine Durandame. And Jermaine's fought like Holly Holm. She lost to Amanda Nunes. Like, she beat Holly Holm 7 years ago. Think about that. She fought her last 5 fights. She fought 7 years ago, dude. Like, to put that in example on her 5-fight streak. She hasn't fought in over 4 years. So
I think that
I'm
was
thinking,
when Reebok was the ad company.
yeah, or Venom or fucking not Venom, Tap Out or something like that. It's been
She's
so
a vet.
damn
She's been in
long,
the game for a long time.
very long, dude. Lola, knock it off. But yeah, dude, I'm picking Norma. I'm picking Norma Dumont. I think here's another thing though. She got an OnlyFans, and everyone's saying the OnlyFans fade. Last
Hell
weekend,
yeah.
apparently Bill Aljo had OnlyFans, and he got knocked out. The first time he's ever been TKO'd or knocked out in his career. Like,
And that busted our fucking bets.
dude, that is exactly what effed up my whole bets. And then Chris Weidman won too. Actually, I didn't even have him in that big bet. What was the other thing? Oh, Joaquin Buckley won, and Mannion Furo won. Pretty much kind of dominated Blanchfield. But anyway, I ain't touching this fight with a 10-foot pole. No way in hell. But as the show goes, I guess I'll take Norma just because Jermaine had a daughter. She hasn't fought in 4 years. She's 39 years old. Like, she's definitely probably the more skilled technical kickboxer because she can kickbox like hell. And she's going to have a 5.5-inch reach advantage, which is pretty significant. But I ain't betting on this fight, but I guess I'll take Norma.
Get that out of here. I don't even care if she's a new mom, got that new mom strength. JDR getting a knockout in round 3. Smack it now, folks. I'm telling you.
Round 3, huh?
Oh, yeah. She's beating Julia Pena. She's beating Holly Holm. Dude, she's a vet. She's in this game. She's gonna get it done.
All right, but I have to ask you, when's the last time she's finished someone?
It's been a while, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, she submitted her 4 years ago. I like it though, bro. I do like it. Jermaine, I'm not downplaying Jermaine. I think she's nasty. You know, she beat Holly Holm and all that. She's a very good women's mixed martial artist. I just think when you hit that 39 and now she's a mom and stuff, I like the old saying is probably true, and I'll find out in August. But when you have kids, you become weak. Like, in a sense, not it's probably false too, but I don't know, man. I don't think Jermaine is gonna win this fight, but I ain't betting on it to save my life. So
We will see. I'm gonna throw down a little something. Stay
I
tuned.
like it. I like it. But I guess we'll bet against each other again. No problem. Moving on to the next fight. Pedro Lacho versus Victor Hugo. A notable Pedro stepping in on very short notice. Like, I think it's this week or something like that. He's making his UFC debut, and 2 years ago he was on Contender Series and got a win, and they didn't sign him. And then he went to a different organization and got a win, and then now the UFC is just short notice calling him. I'm taking Victor Hugo for that reason. I think Victor Hugo is like explosive and he's powerful. He's got a lot of knockouts, and he's been training for this fight already. So give me Victor Hugo. He's got 8 knockouts, 9 submissions, 7 decisions. Like, this guy can do it all. He can knock you out, submit you, or go to distance. I mean, realistically, dude, if you look at Victor Hugo, he should have been in the UFC a while ago. He's on a 13-fight win streak right now. and I'll probably be throwing Victor into a little parlay. So give me Victor Hugo.
I don't know anything about either one of these guys, so I'm probably just going to follow your lead, maybe Tapology's lead on it, because Tapology's got Hugo at 91% and a good chunk by submission, but I could see him getting done with the knockout too with that reach advantage. I mean, he's 71 to 66, so
Yeah,
I could see Hugo getting that done. I'll side with you with Hugo, but I don't know anything about either one of these guys.
respect, and that's kind of one of these. This card is sort of too, you know. Unfortunately, it looks like this fight got scrapped.
Yeah, it's not on our betting site, so we can't throw down any money on it either way. But I don't
Yeah,
know what
well,
happened.
I guess we won't waste time with it. I bet you that guy couldn't make weight or something, so that's fine. We'll move on to the next fight. Not even waste their time on it. We got Cynthia Calvillo versus Pierre Rodriguez. I am really not going to waste time on this either. I do not know really much about these girls. Also, although that Cynthia has been fighting in the UFC for quite a while, and this girl is on a 5-fight loss streak, dude. It's not looking good for her. But the UFC need the women in the divisions to fight. But not betting on this fight, but for the sake of the show, I'm taking Rodriguez.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch it either. Like you said, I mean, Cynthia's almost 37. I'd probably just side with Rodriguez as well.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. Gene Matsumoto versus Daniel Argueta, which I am excited for this one. We got an undefeated bantamweight fighter, and he is making his UFC debut. He was in LFA, and this guy is finishing people. He's going to decision. He can do it all. He's got a solid gas tank. The thing is, Dan Argueta is like that fast twitch, constantly moving in and out of the pocket. He kind of got screwed over with the Ronnie Lawrence premature stoppage 9 months ago. And Miles Johns. Miles Johns got popped for a little steroids 6 months ago, so he did lose that fight, but Miles was on a little bit of a tramadol or whatever the hell he was on. And I'm taking Gene, dude. I think Gene's wrestling is super solid, and the guy's striking's good enough. I mean, it's pretty solid. He's got 3 knockouts, but what his main game is to wear on you. He's kind of like a Brendan Allen on this main event spot. Wear on you. He can hit you with big strikes. Excuse me. And as soon as you're like covering up, thinking that big strike's coming over the top or going to the body, and you cover up, he goes for the legs, gets you down, wears on you, and submits you. I think it's gonna be a really entertaining fight. Few fights in, 3 fights into the night, it's gonna be really entertaining. But I think the undefeated stays undefeated. What about you, brother?
Yeah, I don't know too much about either one of these guys. Yeah, I don't really know who Matsumoto has really fought though. Like, I don't see any like really big names on there, so I don't know. It makes me a little leery on it. I might, just because I've been picking opposite of you all day today, I might have to go with Dan Argueta.
Argueta, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's older by like 6 years, but I really don't know.
I was gonna say any reason why. I mean, you just like going against my picks.
Yeah, pretty much. Just for the I
Alright.
got nothing. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's been trying to fight good talent. He's probably rolling around with good talent. He said Miles Johns, Ronnie Lawrence, Isaac Dulgarian, that bout got canceled. So he's been looking for people. He lost to Damon Jackson, who's on this card, but
Yeah.
he lost to Ricky Turios, which, I mean, he's good, but I don't know.
All right, dude. It is what it is. I'm probably gonna be parlaying a little Gene. I think he's great wrestling. So
I'm probably
moving
not.
on.
Unless you show me something really good, I'll probably go with that, but I'm probably going to stay away from this one.
I respect it, dude. Ain't gotta bet every fight, and that's this card too. It's like I'm betting on I'm having a select few bets, betting like minimal money, and I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this card. Just for the fights as they are. Get a good read on these fighters so when we see them the next time on like a solid, a better, more entertainment spot because we got UFC 300 around the corner, fellas. That's
Yes,
why
sir.
you're not seeing a lot of this talent and better fighters on these cards because at UFC 300 is absolutely stacked, and I have a lot of solid reads. I showed you a $100 bet I already have on UFC 300. So
You've been sitting on that one for a while, dude. It's about to
yeah,
hatch. It's gonna be going.
I'm excited. I think Jamal Hill beats Alex Pereira. I really do. So, and he's my last leg on the parlay. I gotta wait all night for it. Enjoy the fights. It's gonna be a great night. So, but we'll
Let's
get
go.
into that next.
Sparta.
And here we're getting into the second fight of the night: Dylan Budka versus Cesar Almeida, which you just put us on here. I did not know that about these guys. We watched Dylan fight. He did look very solid, dude. He looked like he belonged in the UFC. And I remember seeing this guy because he's a redhead, white guy that, dude, he's got massive kicking power. He really
I
does.
just hope he does really snappy kicks. I mean, especially for for a middleweight, really snappy kicks. He can get him up there, but I think he just needs to continue to working on his striking. I mean, this is your typical wrestler versus kickboxer. That's what you got right here. And what do we do every time? We always go with the wrestler, right? The kickboxer doesn't have that great defense, so I think the wrestler can kind of pin him up against the cage as long as he doesn't get caught. I mean, Dill's got great lateral movement. We saw that live. So I mean, he can bounce around side to side. He doesn't like to stay in the pocket and get hit with like combinations. And I don't think Almeida is going to be able to do that, like combination after combination. So I think Dylan's going to be like, gets the cage, probably going to wear him down. It might go this decision, but I got Dylan. Sorry, I just had to jump in there and say what I had to say.
I love it. You can keep going if you got anything else.
This is going to be my dog of the card. Or wow, right now they have him as a favorite. Wow. The site
Yeah.
Vegas got him minus at 155 and Almeida at plus 125. So shoot,
Yeah,
he's
I
on my
like
dog.
that. No, I was not expecting. It's a great where they have it. The bookies have it right now is like a solid read. I think Dylan should be the slight favorite. I think Cesar Almeida's wrestling defense is like super suspect, and I think Dylan Budka can definitely be the guy that exposes that.
Think so.
I
But
don't know.
then you look
Cesar,
at what Tapology has it. They have Almeida at 63 and Budka at 37. So anything can happen, folks.
yeah, I like
That's
it.
why
But
they call it fighting.
Tapology can definitely sway people. So I got Dylan Budka. I think he's the better fighter. We're both on Dylan, right?
I am, but Almeida could get that knockout. You don't know. He's gone, like I said, 25 minutes with El Potan, so who knows?
Damn, I keep forgetting about that.
But that was 10
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah. He's a solid kickboxer, but I just don't see the
I feel
wrestling
like,
defense, man.
yeah. I feel like wrestlers get it done every time against kickboxers.
Yeah. And I guess we can just end it on here. Moving on to the next fight. Really don't have a great read on either of these girls. I have never watched them. I don't know a damn thing about them. I guess I'll go with the favorite, Melissa Mullins, which I believe her name now is Melissa Dixon. I think she
Yeah, I
just
think she
got
just got
married.
like divorced or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, I guess, but I'm going with Tapology and then just the chalky favorite. I guess I don't really have a particular reason.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I'm not gonna go with Mullins. I'm probably gonna go with Cornhole, but I don't really know why. Just like the name, I guess. Give me Nora Wonder Cornhole for the win.
Cornhole. Nora, I wonder about her cornhole. Okay. Well, guys, that's the old quick breakdown. It's not a great card by any means, like we said, but I guess we can all sit back and enjoy Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis too. In my opinion, he beats Chris Curtis. They should give him the loser of Robert Whitaker and Shmaev. My favorite underdog again, Lucas the Bull Bresky. Victor Hugo I think runs through this short notice opponent guy. Oh yeah, they probably aren't even fighting. Gene Matsumoto against our Dan Argueta is going to be a really fun fight to watch. I think everyone will get to see this undefeated rising prospect. And believe it or not, like this, it's not a solid card when there's only 2 fighters on the card that are undefeated. 3, excuse me, 4. The woman too.
Yeah.
Caesar's 4-0. He only has 4 professional fights. So some people get the short notice call and all that relatively a lot earlier and get the chance more than less. So that's cool. Yeah, dude, solid fight night card. I can't wait for next week when we break down UFC 300.
Yeah.
That's gonna be lit. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll say, everybody, if you liked it, if you stayed this long, like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know your underdogs. Let us know your parlays and who are your favorites. And we'll let you close it out, Dylan, if you got nothing.
I really don't got much. I mean, this is a tough card. We're getting through it, folks. Next week we'll put out the show for the 300. That's going to be definitely worth it. I think my dog for the week, if I had to pick one, may just be Curtis, just because I have to pick one. But I don't know. I mean, I'll still watch it, just enjoy it. I mean, it's something to do. But yeah, nah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yep, I like it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's the episode of Tussle Talk. And check out our Instagrams and all that, TikTok for come around tomorrow. We drop our picks and maybe a little live betting. Probably not on this card. This card's not the greatest. So thanks, guys.